Hey folks, today as part of the New Year Beginner Series, we are talking about foods that you should definitely avoid while trying to lose weight on a ketogenic diet. Why should you listen to me? Well, I lost a lot of weight using keto in the course of 2 years, and I've been keeping that off for like 3.5 years now. So these are just the guidelines that I followed and that everybody should follow if they want to lose weight on keto. We're gonna break this list down into categories, and the first category that you should definitely avoid is sweets. Obviously, keto is a low-carb diet, which means that it is low sugar and low starch. So you want to avoid all the sugary foods like cake, candy, ice cream, sweet breads like banana bread, and things like pies. And you also want to avoid sugary foods that are more natural, like fruits. Yes, most fruits are not really allowed on keto. Many people incorporate, the non-sugary fruits like tomatoes, avocados, and some people even incorporate berries. But like your traditional fruits like apples, bananas, mangoes, pineapples, all those delicious sweet ones, pretty much a no-go on keto. The next category that you definitely want to avoid are sugary drinks. So milk is the first one. It has lactose. It's very sugary. The best brand of milk that I have found is the Fairlife, and I only use it in cooking. The only milk that I actually drink is almond milk, and it is 1 gram of sugar per serving for the unsweetened variety. You also want to avoid sugary sodas. You can drink diet soda. I started out all of my weight loss with diet soda. I only gave that up a year ago. And you want to avoid juices. Juices are just as sugary as sodas. Let's get into the fun stuff. You also want to avoid sugary or carby alcoholic drinks like your heavy beers, sweet wines like port, sherry, dessert wines, and then your really sugary liqueurs, amaretto, Jägermeister, Kahlua. Somebody offered it to me one time and I took a sip and I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty sweet." It tasted good, but very sugary. So we've talked about the sweet things with sugar in them. Let's talk about the starchies. The first category in the starchy family is going to be your grains. So you definitely want to avoid your crackers, your bread, your pasta, things like corn, pancakes, quinoa, oats, grits. I'm a Southern girl. I used to love my grits. And of course, things like rice and cereal. They are starchy, which means in your bloodstream, when you are digesting the food and processing it, they basically turn into sugar. They're going to cause insulin spikes and you want to avoid them. And your body's not going to get into fat burning mode because it has that sugar from those starches running through it. So it's going to burn that sugar first and not that fat. Bad news. The next starchy category is starchy vegetables. So these include a lot of root vegetables, potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes, parsnips, carrots. I incorporate some carrots, but I don't eat them every day, or I don't eat a lot of the time. It's going to depend on what you can fit in your day. And then you also want to avoid the legumes and the beans. Things like peas, kidney beans, lima beans, those are all going to be very starchy. Chickpeas, refried beans, which I really miss when I eat in a Mexican restaurant. But yes, again, they will all spike insulin and your body will turn that into sugar and it will run off the sugar rather than fat. The next category that you definitely want to avoid are sweet and starchy condiments and dips. So full sugar ketchup, yeah, that's really sugary if you look at the nutrition. You can incorporate low sugar ketchup. It still has 1 gram or 2 of sugar per serving, so use it in moderation. You also want to avoid cocktail sauce, very sugary, tartar sauce, Asian sauces like oyster sauce, hoisin, and teriyaki. You want to avoid gravies that have flour in them, syrups. You want to avoid sweet dressings. My mom's 2 favorite dressings are Catalina and Thousand Island, and those are pretty sugary. Balsamic vinegar, it can be sugary if you eat more than a tablespoon of it. So if you make a whole vinaigrette using 1 tablespoon, you're going to be pretty much okay. Again, it's one of those things like carrots that I incorporate into my diet, into my macros, but I have to eat it in moderation. Next up are some terms that you should look out for when you are eating out in a restaurant. These are some code words that signal to you that something is probably very sugary or very starchy, even though the food that you're ordering, the main dish, doesn't sound sugary or starchy. So if you are ordering fish or meat dishes, you might see this word glazed. Well, guess what? Glazed usually means lots of sugar. Those meats have been basically candied by a glaze, so they have this beautiful, shiny, sugary sheen on them, but they are not very keto friendly, unfortunately. If something is deep fried, you definitely want to ask the waiter or the server if it has been breaded. Every time I go out for wings and they say deep fried or double fried, I ask, are they breaded? Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So you'll just have to ask and make sure. If a dish comes with a gravy, you can probably bet that it has flour in it. So it's a no-go on keto. Now sometimes you might get like an au jus and it says gravy. You can ask the waiter just to put the gravy on the side and try it out, see if it seems starchy or not. But usually gravies are pretty starchy. Another term to look out for is breaded or crusted. If something's been crusted and even like panko is pretty starchy, you want to avoid it on keto. Another word you want to look out for is stuffed. Now think, on Thanksgiving, we usually stuff a turkey with lots of breads and lots of seasonings. So oftentimes if you look at like stuffed mushrooms, stuffed peppers, they will include lots of breadcrumbs into the stuffing. So you want to ask or see when it comes out if it does have bread in it. Well, folks, that is my avoid food list for the ketogenic diet. If I missed something, please let me know down below. I think I covered all the categories as much as I could. But the main thing is when you're in doubt, you can look it up online, use Google, use the USDA website for looking at nutrition, ask waiters and servers. And even after all of that, if you're still not sure, it's probably best to avoid it. If you enjoyed the video, please do not forget to like and subscribe. That would help me out so much. And if you are new to keto, I am beginning this new year with the basics. So if you want to check out my basic videos, how to start, what to eat, what not to eat, food you should watch out for but can't eat in moderation, please make sure you do subscribe and check out my Keto 101 Beginner Series playlist. I also link all of the resources that you might need down below, the keto calculator, my favorite video of Dr. Eric Westman describing a ketogenic diet, and I'll link that 101 series down below too. I do not spam videos, multiple times a week. I make one video a week, so please make sure to subscribe if you're interested in weight loss with keto and how to keep it off. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Allie. Have a good one. Bye.